guys, what's going down? I am going to show you how to take a Mini 2 file, a still picture, and make it from mild to wild. Just to make it better, make it look cooler, make it look like this, but not quite. This was, I think, with my D850, but regardless, or what was this shot with? Let me see. It was shot with a D3X. Wow, that was a while ago. Anyway, we're going to go and see some images I shot. So I went and flew downtown today, and I kind of flew a little higher with the Mini 2. And as you see, I looked at two different images. Boom. One for the building, one for the Hancock, and then one for the sky. So these are JPEGs. Now, mind you, I shot RAW as well, but I'm just going to work with the JPEG just to show you how you can take an image and make it that much better. So this is a good example of a shot where the sky was looking pretty cool, but if I expose for the sky, because it was just so bright and kind of high-keyed, I would not get the building or the city to kind of look anything impressive. So this is what I did. I bracketed my shots, and I went into my Finder after I downloaded the card, and I looked at the file, and I could see that these are comparable. They're a little off, I can see. But I'm going to bring both of these into Photoshop by just bringing them down in the dock. And now I have two files, and I'm going to try to walk you through a little bit about what I do. So essentially, I'm going to have my move key, or my move tool, I'm sorry, selected. So this little crosshair. If you hit the V on the keyboard, that's going to select the move. B is brush, V is move. And I'm going to click on this file, and I'm going to drag up to the tab of the other image of the building, and then drag the cursor down. And once it's down, if I just drop it, you'll see what happens. But if I go and I'm going to commit Command Z, if I go back over here and I hold the Shift key down while I'm dragging up to the top tab and then bring back down, and now I let go, you see it aligns as opposed to just dropping it in the middle of nowhere. So now I have these two images, and as you see, it's kind of off a little bit. So what I'm going to do, since this is a big building, all I have to do is lower the opacity. So I have these two layers. I have the top layer, which is the sky, bottom layer, which is the building. So I could even name the layer sky. Oop. Building. There we go. And what I can do is lower the opacity, and you'll see what's going on. So essentially, I got to align this up so, and I'm just holding down the Shift key to get bigger increments when I use the arrow keys to move over. And I'm going to essentially let go of the Tab key because I want to do little fine increments. Let's see how we're looking up here. Still looks a teeny bit skewed. Whoop, got out of the move tool. But you see what I'm doing? So I'm just moving this around, and I'm going to align the best that I can. Like that looks pretty good. And now if I go and toggle the layers, you'll see that looks pretty darn legit as far as matching the sky and everything. Now what I can do, I'm going to close this little guy. I can use my Wacom stylus. I can make a layer mask. So see this little thing? It's like a little rectangle with a hole. It's essentially punching a hole from the top layer to the bottom. And now I can paint with the brush tool. So right now I got a white area. So I'm going to use my B key for the keyboard shortcut. I'm going to make sure my background, my foreground layer, I should say, is black. And now what happens when I paint with black, you'll see I can see the building. So what I'm going to do, possibly, let me just see what this looks like. It's hard to do sometimes when I'm talking and getting creative. For some reason, I just don't do as well. So say I go and do something like that. But that's still not really what I wanted. But now I can go and finesse a little bit. So I'm going to hit the X key, which will toggle foreground and background. So essentially, you see this is with black. I'm basically getting one effect. And then if I use the other key, I'm going to bring in the top layer. So again, basically black and white are going to give you two different effects. One's going to reveal and one's going to conceal the layer, depending on what you're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and maybe do something like, let me see if the building down here is skewed a little. Can you see this? So actually what I did when I did the little shifting of the two layers, the bottom wasn't necessarily identical, so I'm getting this little shift, which is not good because it will show like a blurring type effect. So that looks pretty cool actually, just like that, oddly enough. But I can maybe, let me see. What do I want to do? Something like that maybe? And then I can maybe paint in that. When you're taking a picture like this, you have to keep in mind that your eye is going to be drawn to the brightest part of the image. So the part of the image that's your subject is the Hancock building, and that's what we want to be front and center. So that looks pretty cool. So again, mind you, look, we had that, which was boring and crap. You have no sky. I did expose that way. Or you have, you know, all sky where it's way too dark. So that doesn't look good either. There's zero detail in the building. And one other possibility is to take the DNG of this file, maybe just tweak and get the exposure a stop higher, or maybe even 2 stops, and then just kind of paint in the building. But again, there's different ways to skin a cat, so to speak. And I'm just playing around and seeing how this is going to work. So we're going to stop right here, and I'm going to merge the layers or flatten them. I'm going to crop this. So I'm going to go to my crop tool, which is C, and I'm going to go over here to original ratio, and I'm going to go ahead and hold the control key down, which will give me smaller increments. It's not going to snap into place. And then I'm going to hit enter, and now I got a clean canvas. And now what I can do is do a filter, possibly, like say Topaz Labs. Let me go to the Just. Topaz Labs has some pretty cool stuff, actually. They have something called AI Gigapixel to up-res files, which is super badass and really, really powerful. It's taxing on your system, but the results are pretty awesome. So, I mean, now you can see what we can kind of get into. I mean, that's not my thing, but maybe something like that. And I'm looking for kind of an improvement on what it was. I'm not looking to totally change the way it was looking, but just, so dark mood, that's kind of cool, right? For like a black and white. I'm going to rock that and not even think. I'm just going to see how this will look. So maybe I even taken part of this, and now that I have the top layers, I can go and rock the layer mask thing again and just kind of do something like this. So maybe I take, let me see how the whole thing looks. Well, I do like the way the color looks, but here, let me try this. But I do like the way the dark looks on the building, on the Hancock. And then, what else can we do? Let me see. Before, after, before, after. And that's what I kind of do a lot. I'll kind of toggle, whether it's with the Command-Z key or just the layers, and see which one looks better. Maybe I don't like that so much. So before, after, before, after. I don't know. It's hard to say. So I'm going to go ahead and try one more filter. So I'm going to go into on one and go into this other filter. And again, I have a base. I could go ahead and tweak here, but a lot of times the filter kind of thing works really well because I could just use part of the effect. So let me see. But a lot of times too, the filters just kind of pull everything together. So let me get rid of that. Like that's pretty cool. Actually, really cool. I'm going to hit Command-Z to undo that one. That was VL10. No, I don't like that one as much. VL5, no, too sharp. I can tweak it, but I don't really like it. VL10, I like that one better. No, let's see this one. So let's rock this and see. Color enhancer, we're going to show. Let's see what happens if we add more color. See, what I kind of like is the blue tones of this, and then I'll use the mask and just get the building to not turn color and keep that black. So see this? I like the blue, but I'm going to knock a little hole in that layer and use B to reveal the bottom layer, and now watch. Now we have that not looking too much. That's too much. Isn't that like, that's like a Price is Right thing or something. So let me see. I'm going to use my brush and see. And sometimes you need to zoom in to make sure you're not going too far. See that? But we don't want everything to look blue, because then it just doesn't look like the building. It looks too much. Again, I say too much, but really any kind of retouching or post work, it's about subtlety. You don't want to have it look really like, oh my God, what the hell did that guy do or girl do? But you see that? Like little subtlety. Maybe I can go and get rid of that. And then what I can do too, and I've talked about this before if people have watched, you can use Shift Command F, and that will be a really good way to fade out something. So see how I kind of went a little bit over here? It's really subtle, but again, that's what you kind of have to do when you're getting good at retouching. Like just using the soft edge of the brush, I'm going to go in X, and now I'll use Shift Command V, and I'll just kind of fade that whole thing so it's really subtle and it blends in really well. See that? And then we'll go over here and just kind of tweak a little bit. And let's see what happens. Maybe even the antenna part. I'll just do a little bit of the blue tint away. And let's zoom back out. And that's pretty cool, right? So we went from essentially that to that. And that's using my Mini 2 and using the ability to know how to bracket the shot properly, and then knowing how to actually bring it in the post in the Photoshop and just composite. I mean, this is really pretty simple, but again, would you rather have that image? Pretty freaking boring. Or that image? Pretty freaking nice. So, I mean, it does. It looks nice, right? That's a pretty cool shot. The clouds actually got really cool. The sun burst through for like a minute, and I just happened to be up in the sky, and that's that. So, and then that's it. And then maybe watermark it. I got a little watermark here. Drag it on to the file, and boom, baby. Got a shot. Whether you want it there, want it there, want it there. You know what? I mean, it sucks. You really don't want to watermark the photo because it's not about just your name, but it's also about protecting yourself. So, like for now, I don't think I'm going to keep it black. Let me see. Hold on. Oop, damn it. Wait, let me get out of there. Not .cofum. I'm going to see how white looks. White may look a little cleaner. There we go. And again, it all kind of pulls it together. Like I like it up here. There we go. And what I do a lot of times is just do Shift Command 4 on a Mac and do a screenshot. And boom. Now I can go and post it. I can go out on my social media, go to one of my local pages that I created or groups, Everyday Beauty Chicago, and then go like this. And you see I sold a couple prints just recently for $750. And that is, you know, money in the pocket. So what I do now from here, I'm going to upload this. It's a way of promoting. And I'll say Chicago looking epic today with the sun making a cameo appearance. Prints available. And then what I can do is go here. See this? So I got my SmugMug account. And what I can do now is get rid of the watermark, flatten the image, save it by hitting Option Command S. I'm going to go into SmugMug Chicago, which is a folder I have, which is syncing to the iCloud. And then I can do, you know, Chicago something, Chicago Hancock Blues, high res, and then save that little puppy. Boom. And this is kind of what you do from beginning to end. Now what I can do is upload this, and you guys should be paying attention because you will make money this way. This is all part of selling your imagery. So I'm going to go ahead and upload this to SmugMug, chugging away. It's not that big of a file. Boom. Hooray, that's one happy photo or happier photo. And then I'm going to scroll down to some of my images, and here it is. So now it's live, ready to be able to be purchased. I'm going to go over here to my share link, copy the photo link, and then down below this, boom, post them. And now look, it is live, and people can now purchase this print by literally clicking this link and spending money. So see, buy photo, and they'll be able to choose which options I have, and that's about it. So just wanted to share a little bit of how you make an image from blah to something that rhymes with not blah, to amazing, to beautiful, to creative. So again, I'm hoping this helps, guys, but seriously, pay attention to this because it is a real way of working your Mini 2 or whatever drone you have and shooting in a way where you're going to get the most impact out of your files and your photos. So again, this is a pretty cool thing, and I hope it helps you guys. Aloha, subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, and that's it. Peace.